What's up, guys? Welcome to the Whys of Golf. I know a lot of you are lost with your golf swings. You don't know where to search. You've been looking on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all different forums trying to fix your golf swing, and you don't know where to start. So I'm here to tell you how things are working and why you need to fix certain things in your golf swing so you can take control of your golf game. All right, so what are the three most common things I see with a slicer? I'd say number one would be club face being open, whether it's a weaker grip or wrist angle alignments are not where they need to be. Number two, I would say lack of turn, okay? Number three, I'd say lack of depth, meaning their arms are out and up, not deep enough, okay? And usually the amount of turn and the lack of depth go hand in hand, okay? Now, when these things happen and the face is open, no depth, no turn, you start to see so many different compensations, and we're gonna get into them all. You'll start seeing body lines more left, which is your alignment gets off. You start seeing people release it early. You start seeing them coming way over the top. You see them starting to move way forward with their body, because when you actually release it to try and square it, you hit chunky shots. So they start moving forward, which causes more over the top. So you see a lot of weird things when you watch somebody who is slicing the ball, okay? Now, also, what does slicing do? It robs you of all your distance, and it puts you in positions where you can't recover from. If you're a slicer and you have an open face, how do you identify an open face? So the first thing I look for is where the face is at address. Is it square to the line, or is it open or closed? Most of you slicers have an open face at address. Some of you even have a closed face at address, and you still slice it because you open it either with grip or your wrist angles. Number two, I'm always looking at the grip. So the grip can be in so many different positions. You'll see so many players who said, this is the way to grip it. Well, it depends on your release. It depends on how high you want to hit it, how much compression you want, how much speed you have in your swing to elevate the ball. But a dead neutral grip would be, for me, is my arm's hanging at 45 degrees. So that's straight, that's 90, 45 degrees, and I put that on, I would see about 2 knuckles. This V would be at my armpit. When I let this one hang, it's right about here. Now, a weak grip would be over here. This is what a lot of slicers do. They feel like they're closing the face, and then when you let it hang, what did that do? That opened the face, which now does what? Leaves the face open, which causes you to want to come over and release angles and stand up, okay? When we release angles, we fat it, so we start moving more forward to compress it, makes you come more over the top. So if you can really get a hold of, if I took this grip and went too strong and let it hang, it's going to be more closed. And now if you come over the top, it's going to go left, which will immediately change your path, okay? So do we want to start trying to get a really strong grip, or do we want to just get neutral and then change wrist angles? We'll get into that. Now, the third thing that I see would be wrist angles. Now, what do wrist angles even mean? The fact is when I get to the top of my golf swing, I can have this really bowed or flexed. I can have this really extended or cupped, or I can have it flat, okay? Now, people go, just get your wrist flat. Well, if I have a weak grip and I just get it flat and I come down, my face is still open, okay? So it depends on the grip, it depends on address, it depends on your wrist angles of where your wrist angles should be for you personally, okay? So the fact is if you're a slicer and you see a lot of cup up top in your wrist and this back here very flat, you are going to be open. Now, if you brought it from the inside, the ball's going to go to the right, so you're forced to come over the top. So if you're a player with a lot of cup in your wrist, guess what? You're most likely going to be a slicer. Now you could say, hey, Freddie Couples has a little cup in his wrist. It certainly does, but his left-hand grip is very strong, so that cup, when he comes down, is not as open, so he can get away with that. So there's a lot of ways to do it. So one, we talked about face at address. Two, we talked about grip. And three, we talked about wrist angles, okay? So once you get those in control, you'll actually control your slice. All right, so let's talk about another reason players slice. I think a lack of turn is one of the biggest issues with people who slice. Now, how does that make you slice? So first off, if I actually turn my body, when I turn, I don't just turn everything together, I don't turn it flat. There's certain tilts that we use. But the fact is, when we turn, I actually get my legs and like a basket to actually feel like you're keeping the same gap between them. That's helping turn, okay? A lot of people think that they should just stay still. I like to get my shoulders back at least 90 or more. And when I do that, what that does is that gets my club traveling more inside to outside. When I don't turn, the arms lift and split and make the wrists really cupped, which means now I'm going to be coming over the top. Unless I try and tilt back now, I've got some very big problems with low point, okay? So the fact is if we don't turn, it's going to be very, very difficult to get the club back in the inside, because you don't turn and you start opening, you're going to come over the top. That's going to cause the ball to slice. Now, when we do it, why, if we don't turn and it comes over the top, is it going to slice? It's because of the fact that if the face is square and the path is coming across it, the ball starts closely on the face, turns away from the path that's going that way in the opposite direction. So we've got to learn to turn. So we'll show you how to turn, but the fact is we need you to identify how much should I turn. At least 90 degrees to here. So at least to here for a full swing, to if not more. The hip should turn at least 45, if not a little bit more. That will help you get the club to start tracking from the inside. All right, I'm here with my buddy Brett. If you are a slicer, most likely the three things that are happening were face, lack of turn, and depth. Now, here's what depth is. If you have no depth, most likely you're gonna slice unless you have some compensation of a tilt or early extension in order to get the club back from the inside. Now, I'm gonna show you what no depth means. So, if he put this at a right angle to my back line, my shoulders should go on this line and my left arm should be on that line, or a little flatter. Now, there are some players who do get it higher. Now, this is lack of depth. Okay, now there's some players who do get it back inside. They start to tilt, they start to stand up, they do different things in order to get that club back inside. But what we're trying to do is create depth so we can just pivot through without any thought and stop that slice. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this on the shoulder line and I'm not gonna hit it now. I'm gonna bring it parallel here and I'm gonna bring it on that line, never hit it. Then I can get the club coming back from the inside. If I have the face ready to go and I have a full turn and I have that depth. If we don't have the depth, you are going to have to compensate and most likely you're gonna be a slicer still. What's up, guys? If any of this resonated with you and now you have some kind of understanding of why things are happening, now you need to know how to fix them, okay? I have a program called George Genkus Golf that gives you access to thousands of videos. It also gives you access to a forum where you can post your swing, and I have two phenomenal coaches that have been with me for 10 years that can analyze and help you grow your own personal game to the highest level it has ever been. So if you want to get better, go over to George Genkus Golf and get yourself involved with the program.